practice some of our Host and SOOL or wrist grips. We're going to revisit the wrist grips that we reviewed last week. But instead of going over them with you as a mirror image, I'm going to give you more opportunities to practice them on your own, where I'm pretending to grab you and you're doing your techniques with your key up at the end. In order to make this easier for our different ranks to practice their different techniques, we'll start with our white belt technique and we'll move up through the techniques to our red belts and Dan members. Once we've done your highest technique, I'll remind you to pause the video and practice again, either on your own or by rewinding it to do it again with me. So for white belts, that will mean you're practicing cross wrist number 1. When we move on to cross wrist number 2, green belts and up will continue, and white belts will pause the video. Once we've done cross wrist number 2, the green belts will pause and continue to work on that technique, while the red belts and above continue with the video. In order to make it easy to find your section, I'm adding titles on the bottom that describe which technique we're working on. However, I would like my senior members to work their way through all of the techniques, if only to remind themselves and make sure that they feel comfortable with them all. Let's start with cross wrist number 1. I'll review the moves quickly, and then I'll grab 3 times so that you can all practice together. We'll review cross wrist number 1 first. For cross wrist number 1, your partner's right hand has grabbed your right hand. Your first move is always to open. Your next move is to step toward the person, elbow forward, foot forward. Second move is a pseudo strike. Doop. Third move, palm heel, high. Up. Last move with a kia, palm heel to the groin. Up. Kia. Bara. And one time a little bit quicker. You've been grabbed and see jack. Notice your hands do come back in a ready position, although your feet will stay where they were until your teacher calls borrow. Now I'll grab 3 times so that you can all practice cross wrist number 1. Hana. Borrow. Borrow. Set. Borrow. Now that we're done with our practice together for cross wrist number 1, the white belts will pause the video here or rewind it and practice cross wrist number 1 again at least 3 more times. Green belts and above, continue watching, and we'll move on to cross wrist number 2. Cross wrist number 2, again, starts when your partner grabs towards your right hand. As you open the hand, you're also getting your other hand ready up near your shoulder. First move is to step at an angle, moving your low hand high and your high hand into a pseudo strike like this. Hana. Second move is a palm heel strike high. Doop. Third move is a palm heel strike to the groin with a kia. Up. Kia. Bara. One more time. I'll go a little quicker. Cross wrist number 2. You've been grabbed. Open your hand. Other hand high. See jack. Hi. Bara. I will now grab times for cross wrist number 2. Hana. Baro. Do. Baro. Set. Baro. Now that we've finished practicing together, green belts, please pause the video here and practice again at least 3 more times, or rewind the video and practice with me again 3 more times. We will now move on to 2-on-1 number 1. Again, you're being grabbed on your right arm, this time by both hands from your opponent. In this case, 2-on-1 number 1, you start settling forward, raise the hand. They still have a grip. Your other hand comes up. We're trying to make sure their arm is a little closer to their body and a little bit bent. And then we take a big step and push. We've got a straight arm at this point. Our other arm is tucked in and has pulled their hand across the front of our body. We're in a side stance here, but as we do our last move with the key up, we shift into a modified front stance for our elbow strike. Up, yeah, bar up. I'll do that one more time, a little bit faster. Your right hand has been grabbed. Break low, come up, under their elbow. Hi! Bar up. I will now grab 3 times for you to practice 2-on-1 number 1. Hana. Baro. Do. Baro. Set. Baro. Moving on to 2-on-1 wrist grip number 2. Again, your right hand is being grabbed. And so what we do to start is we reach our left hand over our attacker's arm to grab our own hand. We will shift into a back stance. Although we don't move backwards, we're simply settling our weight downward and supporting ourselves with our leg. And at the same time, our elbow will come up to break the grip, like this. We then kick and punch. Hi! Around. One more time, a little bit quicker. Your right hand's been grabbed. Reach, settle, kick, hi, and punch. Bar. I will now grab 3 times for you to practice 2-on-1 number 2. Hana. Baro. Do. Baro. Set. Baro. At this point, our red belt children will pause and repeat 2-on-1 number 1 and 2-on-1 number 2 on your own, or rewind the video and repeat it with me attacking. Adult red belts and Dan members will continue to 2-on-1 number 3. For 2-on-1 number 3 wrist grip, you've been grabbed, you're going to get a grip on their hand. We're going to step, Hana, Now we're going to use that same foot to swing around so that we're facing our partner again. Doop. Our hands go up and down. In this case, they're going to be very uncomfortable with their arm up. And so we're going to stay in control and centered, but we're going to push their elbow and their arm up a bit. Release with your right. Hi! Thank you. Far out. Hi! Far out. I will now grab 3 times for you to practice 2-on-1 number 3. Hana. Borrow. Doop. Borrow. Set. Borrow. This will conclude our practice together today. Senior members, of course, know CROSSWRIST 3 and 4, which we did not review together today, but can be reviewed on the CROSSWRIST video that was posted last week. Please do review them. If you're not sure of the moves, review them using the video. And if you are confident in the moves, you can practice them now, or you could rewind the video and practice as if I'm grabbing you during some of the other techniques.